There's something profoundly transformative about the presence of a Pisces, as though they carry the whispered wisdom of the ocean in their hearts and the gentle glow of moonlight in their souls. Born between February 19 and March 20 under Neptune's dreamy influence, Pisceans exist on a plane where empathy, creativity, and intuition merge into a singular, luminous force. They extend compassion as freely as birdsong greets dawn, offering sanctuary for wounded spirits and inspiration for restless minds. Trust from a Pisces feels like being wrapped in a soft tide of understanding, where your deepest fears, wildest dreams, and unspoken secrets find a sympathetic ear rather than a judging gaze. When you betray that trust, you fracture a bond that was never meant to be broken lightly. Betrayal crushes their gentle nature and silences the well of empathy they poured into your life. Over the next 40 minutes, we'll explore 18 reasons why crossing a Pisces is a mistake you'll carry with you, from the way they love with unconditional compassion and share in your pain as if it were their own, to the manner in which their creative spirit transforms heartache into art. You'll see how they see your best, even when you doubt yourself, sacrifice for your sake, and offer forgiveness as boundless as the sea, until even their infinite heart reaches its limit. Prepare to discover why losing a Piscean's trust is not just a personal error but an act that reverberates through the currents of karma, leaving a void you may never fill. 1. They love with unconditional compassion. When a Pisces opens their heart, it's an act of pure devotion untainted by judgment or reservation. Their compassion flows outward like an endless stream, embracing you in moments of triumph and in the depths of your despair. They don't calculate the cost of their empathy, they simply feel your suffering and extend comfort without hesitation. Their love is woven from threads of gentleness, a soft touch on the shoulder during grief, a listening presence when words fail, or a small act of kindness, a handwritten note, a favorite treat, that carries the weight of their care. They see you not as you are but as you could be, lovingly guiding you toward healing without ever demanding perfection. When you betray a Pisces, you shatter the illusion of safety they so tenderly crafted, and you lose the rare gift of unconditional compassion that only they can provide. 2. They feel your pain as their own. Pisces possess an extraordinary capacity for empathy that blurs the boundaries between self and other. They absorb your sorrow, anxiety, and loneliness as if it were a personal wound, and their hearts ache in unison with yours. This profound emotional resonance means that when you're suffering, they carry your burden alongside their own. They might shed tears you didn't know you inspired or lie awake worrying over challenges they never personally faced. Betray their trust, and the pain you caused echoes twice as loudly, once in your own conscience and again in the silent grief that ripples through their spirit. Without a Piscean to share that pain, you face regret alone, unbuffered by the understanding heart that once held your suffering with tender reverence. 3. They see your best, even when you can't. One of the most magical gifts a Pisces offers is their unwavering belief in your potential. Even when you're mired in self-doubt or fear, they catch glimpses of your strengths hidden beneath layers of uncertainty. They become painters of your brightest possibilities, encouraging you to pursue dreams you've abandoned and reminding you of talents you've buried. Their faith acts as a guiding light, illuminating paths forward when you feel lost. When you betray that nurturing gaze, the world grows dimmer. You lose the mirror that reflected your best self, and without their vision to buoy you, you risk believing only in your limitations. The regret of losing that encouraging perspective lingers long after apologies fade. 4. They sacrifice for the ones they care about. Pisces are renowned for their selflessness, often putting the needs of loved ones before their own comfort. They will forego sleep to listen to your worries, rearrange their schedules to be by your side, or give up scarce resources so you can thrive. Their sacrifices are rarely dramatic, they manifest in small, consistent acts, preparing your favorite meal when you're exhausted, offering a shoulder even when they're depleted, or surrendering personal time to help you chase a goal. When you betray a Pisces, you repudiate the countless sacrifices that strengthened your bond. You reveal a disregard for the gentle devotion they poured into your life, and the memory of their giving nature becomes a painful reminder of your ingratitude. 5. Their forgiveness flows, until the well runs dry. Pisces are natural forgivers, extending mercy as freely as the tides ebb and flow. They understand human imperfection and are quick to absolve mistakes, offering second chances with a gracious heart. However, their capacity to forgive is not limitless. Each act of betrayal depletes their emotional reserves, chipping away at the foundations of trust they built. Initially, they'll forgive and welcome you back with open arms, believing in redemption and growth. But repeated breaches of faith exhaust their compassion, leaving their well of forgiveness dry and their hearts guarded. When that day arrives, you face not an angry confrontation but a resigned silence, a quiet testament to the depth of your transgression. The well of mercy that once nurtured your relationship runs dry, leaving you with the stark realization that you squandered their boundless capacity to forgive. 6. Their intuition reads between every line. Pisces possess a nearly supernatural ability to sense truths that lurk beneath spoken words, detecting emotional undercurrents and unvoiced tensions with effortless grace. In conversation, they pick up on the slight tremor in your voice, the hesitation before you answer, or the fleeting glance that betrays your true feelings. They don't need you to spell everything out, they simply feel the resonance of your hidden emotions, intuitively understanding what you might prefer to keep concealed. This deep sensitivity allows them to respond not just to your words but to the heart beneath them, offering comfort precisely where it's needed most. When you betray a Pisces, you violate that sacred bond of unspoken understanding, leaving them to question every future conversation and to wonder what truths they might now miss. Their trust in their own intuition shatters, and your deceit echoes in the silence that follows, a haunting reminder that you broke the only person who ever truly heard what you didn't say. 7. They remember your subtlest whispers. Beyond hearing the unspoken, Pisces archive every small confession, fleeting hope, and private fear you've ever shared with them. Mention in passing that you've always wanted to learn painting, and weeks later they present you with a set of brushes and canvases, remembering your faintest aspirations. Reveal a childhood disappointment, and they revisit it years later to check in on your healing. Their memory isn't mechanical, it's woven into their empathy, allowing them to honor your uniqueness in ways few others can. Betray them, and you break the promise implicit in every delicate secret you entrusted to their care. In the aftermath, your own words feel flimsy, and you become haunted by the realization that the person who once held your whispers close now holds them as evidence of your betrayal. The intimacy you once cherished becomes a painful collection of reminders that you violated the trust of the one soul who remembered you most intimately. 8. Their creativity heals and inspires. Pisces channel their profound emotional depth into creative expressions that soothe wounds and spark hope, whether through painting, poetry, music, or gentle acts of innovation. They craft playlists that lift your spirits, write letters that convey the unutterable, and cook meals seasoned with gestures of care. Their creativity arises from empathy, they understand your sorrows and intuitively design experiences that guide you gently toward joy. When you betray them, you disrupt the flow of inspiration that once flowed freely between you, severing the creative lifeline they extended to help you grow and heal. Without their artistic compassion, your days feel monochrome, devoid of the vivid expressions that once turned hardship into beauty. You're left longing for that spark, realizing that their imaginative touch was more than a talent, it was a gift of restoration and encouragement you now regret taking for granted. 9. They offer solutions from the heart. When you face a dilemma, Pisces don't recite rote advice, they intuitively tailor their guidance to your unique emotional landscape, drawing from their own well of wisdom and compassion. They might suggest a nature walk to clear your mind, recommend a book that once healed their own heart, or propose a ritual that invites closure. Their solutions emerge from profound empathy, aimed not at quick fixes but at holistic healing. When you betray their trust, those heartfelt remedies vanish, leaving you to navigate challenges alone, bereft of the gentle counsel that once felt like a soothing balm. You find yourself replaying their past suggestions, wishing for that compassionate insight to guide you through fresh trials. Their absence in your crisis moment crystallizes the magnitude of your loss, reminding you endlessly of the heart-centered wisdom you discarded. 10. They hold space for your darkness. Pisces create emotional sanctuaries where you can pour out your fears, doubts, and grief without fear of judgment. They sit with you in the shadows of your pain, offering presence rather than empty platitudes, holding a safe space where vulnerability becomes strength. In their quiet companionship, you learn to embrace your own darkness, finding healing in the empathy that meets you there. Betraying a Pisces withdraws that refuge, forcing you back into isolation where your struggles feel heavier and your tears fall unseen. You come to realize that their willingness to bear witness to your suffering was a rare and precious gift, and its loss leaves you stranded in the cold. The regret of severing that sanctuary becomes a constant ache, a reminder that some wounds cannot heal without the tender presence of someone willing to hold space for your darkest moments. 11. You lose their soothing presence. Breaking a Pisces' heart isn't just a personal betrayal, it means losing a calming current that once carried you through life's storms. Their presence has always felt like a gentle tide washing over jagged rocks, smoothing your edges until you felt safe enough to breathe. In moments of anxiety or grief, they radiate a quiet steadiness, offering a gentle hand on your shoulder or a soft, understanding gaze that says more than words ever could. Their voice becomes a lullaby for your worries, their laughter a salve for your weary spirit, and their compassionate silence a sanctuary where you can simply be. When you betray that trust, their soothing presence recedes like water draining from a pond, leaving behind emptiness where security once flowed. You'll wake in the dark, expecting to find them there, only to feel the cold stillness of their absence. The evenings that were once filled with the comfort of their calm become hollow, and you'll realize how deeply you relied on their gentle energy to restore equilibrium when your own mind raced in circles. Without them, every challenge feels sharper, every fear more vivid, and every night lonelier. The safe harbor you once docked in disappears, and you're left adrift in the choppy seas of your own emotions, painfully aware of the loss you caused. 12. Their dreams cease to include you. Pisces are dreamers at heart, weaving hopes and wishes into the tapestry of everyday life, and when they invite you into that world, you share in something magical. They imagine futures where you stand side by side exploring art galleries at dawn, starting creative collaborations that merge your talents, or building cozy homes filled with music and poetry. In their mind's eye, you become part of their personal vision, a central figure in stories they craft under starry skies. But betray them, and your name vanishes from those dreams as if it were never inscribed there. The plans they once spun become solitary visions, retreats to which you no longer belong. You'll glimpse remnants of those shared aspirations, an unfinished canvas in the corner of their studio, a bookmarked page in the novel you once discussed, but they now stand as silent testaments to the partnership you severed. The spark of us that lit up their imagination flickers out, replaced by a quiet resolve to dream alone, unburdened by the risk of being hurt again. You'll realize that the loss goes beyond companionship, it's the disappearance of your role in their most cherished visions, a void that no amount of explanation or apology can fully restore. 13. You'll miss their gentle encouragement. A Pisces' encouragement feels like a soft breeze rippling across still water, subtle yet profoundly uplifting. They cheer your smallest victories, a completed assignment, a moment of self-care, a step toward healing, and their praise quiets your inner critic in the gentlest way. They tailor their support to your needs, offering a poem when words fail or a quiet evening walk when your mind feels cluttered. Their belief in you is rarely loud or flashy, it flows in sincere affirmations at just the right moment, nurturing your confidence with a tenderness you didn't know you craved. When you betray their trust, those gentle nudges toward growth vanish without warning. Achievements you once celebrated together go unmarked, and the absence of their warm reassurance leaves you questioning your own worth. You'll replay memories of their soothing words, wishing for just one more "I believe in you" whispered at your low points. Without their compassionate uplift, self-doubt creeps in, and tasks that once felt manageable become burdensome again. The gentle encouragement you took for granted becomes a haunting echo, reminding you of both their kindness and the price you paid in losing it. 14. They withdraw their trust silently. Pisces don't often stage dramatic confrontations when hurt. Instead, they choose a quiet withdrawal that carries a weight far heavier than any angry outburst. You might not notice the first moment their trust begins to fade. They'll still answer your calls politely, still exchange pleasantries, but there's a subtle shift in tone, a polite distance that wasn't there before. Messages go unanswered longer, invitations go unaccepted, and the easy intimacy you once shared turns into formal distance. They don't issue threats or ultimatums, they simply close the door without slamming it, leaving you outside. That silent severing is more painful than any public fallout because it offers no closure, only the slow realization that the person who once welcomed you into their emotional world no longer does. In that silence, you search for explanations in vain, haunted by the absence of the one person who understood your heart. Their quiet retreat underscores the gravity of your betrayal, and you come to regret every moment you took their trust for granted, knowing you may never hear the gentle voice you betrayed again. 15. Their absence feels like an emotional ghost. After a Pisces withdraws, their presence lingers like a gentle haunting that refuses to fade. You'll catch yourself setting a place at the table, reflexively reaching for your phone to text them, or glancing at the horizon expecting to see their silhouette walking toward you. Their laughter, once a soft soundtrack to your days, echoes in empty rooms. You'll replay their words in your mind, hoping to recapture the comfort they provided, only to be met with the stark reality that they're truly gone. This emotional ghost manifests in unexpected moments, during celebrations that lack their heartfelt joy, or in struggles that feel unbearably heavy without their empathetic ear. Their absence is both a reminder of the depth of their impact and an indictment of your betrayal. You realize that losing a Pisces is like losing a part of your own emotional spectrum, leaving behind a spectral echo that visits you in lonely hours, reminding you always of the warmth you extinguished and the compassion you sacrificed. 16. They invoke compassionate karma. When you betray a Pisces, you unwittingly set in motion a form of compassionate karma that unfolds with the gentle inevitability of tidal currents. They don't scheme or plot revenge, instead, they trust in universal balance and allow their own kindness to generate a ripple effect that returns consequences to you. Their hurt is held with profound empathy, yet they understand that healing often requires facing the results of one's actions. You may notice doors closing in your career or relationships fraying at the edges, small disappointments that accumulate until you feel the weight of your deception in every corner of your life. Meanwhile, the Pisces who forgave you moves forward with a lightened spirit, trusting that the universe will correct the course you veered from. This compassionate justice doesn't come as a loud reckoning but as a series of natural adjustments, a misplaced trust, a forgotten email, a friendship that drifts away, that mirror the kindness you misused. As you struggle to regain footing, you'll sense that the gentle current guiding your Piscean friend carries them to calmer waters while you contend with the echoes of choices you can't undo. 17. They turn heartache into artistic power. Pisces transform their pain into beauty with a grace that seems almost mystical. When betrayed, they channel their sorrow into creative outlets, painting, writing, composing, or crafting heartfelt statements that capture the spectrum of human emotion. Their heartache fuels art that resonates deeply with others, offering solace to anyone who has ever endured loss or disappointment. They embrace their wounds, examining them under the light of self-awareness, and emerge with expressions of such authenticity that observers find their own struggles mirrored and eased. Watching a Pisces convert betrayal into poetic power is both awe-inspiring and humbling. They teach you that suffering need not be wasted but can instead be transmuted into beauty that heals. Meanwhile, you're left grappling with regret, aware that the creative masterpiece they birthed from your betrayal stands as a testament to both their resilience and your misstep. Their art carries a silent rebuke. You once had the power to prevent their pain, and now you witness its elevation into something transcendent that leaves you both inspired and chastened. 18. Only they can teach you the depth of true healing. Pisces possess a rare capacity to guide others toward profound healing, blending empathy, intuition, and spiritual openness into a therapeutic presence unlike any other. They hold space for your pain without judgment, gently prompting you to explore emotions you might otherwise suppress, and help you cultivate self-compassion through shared vulnerability. Their own journey through heartbreak equips them to offer not just comfort but genuine transformation, revealing pathways to forgiveness, self-forgiveness, and renewed trust in life's possibilities. When you betray a Pisces, you forfeit the unique mentorship they provide, an apprenticeship in emotional alchemy that teaches how to convert pain into wisdom and sorrow into strength. No one else can mirror your wounds with the same clarity or guide you through the labyrinth of grief with such tender expertise. Without their compassionate guidance, you're left stumbling through healing practices that feel sterile or insufficient, yearning for the soulful touch only a Piscean heart can deliver. Betraying a Pisces is not merely a breach of trust, it's a wound against the current of compassion that defines their very essence. You lose a confidant who loved unconditionally, an empath who felt your pain as their own, and a dreamer who illuminated your best self. You relinquish the soothing presence that quieted your storms, the creative spark that transformed sorrow into art, and the healing touch that guided you through darkness. Their departure leaves a gentle void that echoes with memories of kindness you'll never fully reclaim. In losing a Pisces, you forfeit a rare gift, the opportunity to be held in a heart so expansive that your flaws felt smaller and your potential felt boundless. And while they move on with the grace of the sea reclaiming its shore, you carry the deep regret of having broken the heart you should have treasured above all.